Okay, so I started to do the layout and drawing line work on the wall to put on the tiles, and here's the tile I'm going to be using, and we're going to be doing a diamond pattern, so it'll be vertical like that. Here's the spacers, the mastic or the adhesive, tile adhesive, and I have a 1/4 inch trowel, but one problem I have is the tub is not level. It's tipped toward the front and toward the back a little. So when I drew that line level around all the tub, some areas you can see if I put it on its end, it's right up to that top line almost, and that's right on the tub. But if I take it over here and put it on the tub, you can see it's well under both of those lines. So I can't caulk a gap of that distance. I'll have to set it up on that lower line, which is why I drew it. So it'll be about 1/8 to 1/4 inch off the tub. But in order to get it on this side, on that lower line, I'm going to have to take off a little bit of some of these tiles on this wall, and as I check all through here. So I'm going to have to go in the basement, go down to the grinder and knock off the corner. I'm going to figure out how many, maybe 8 or 10 of these I'll have to take off so that it's off the tub and everything's level. Well, I'm all set to start putting the tiles on. I have the tiles that I notched the corners off, and I had to do it on these half tiles too, because those are going to be in the middle. So I have 9 of those. I have all my tiles here that I took out of the boxes, and I mixed them up so I don't get any similar patterns. Alright, so I'm all set. I have my first tile that I'm going to use. I'm going to put it on that vertical and horizontal lower line. I'm going to work left and right off that, and I'll be using the short tiles in between just on this bottom row, and we'll see how it goes. Well, this weekend we are going to try and finally finish the tiling. I haven't had the saw. I've been borrowing it for a while and I had to give it back, so we haven't had it for a couple weeks. So this weekend we're going to borrow the saw and finally put all the tile in. And the reason why I've put the first row in, but we need it for the second row. As you can see, all these pieces need to be cut. The corners need to be cut off all the way up. So, and we can't go up anymore because we need to check our level as we're going around. So we're going to get the saw, cut all these pieces, do the first, second, third, and just work our way up. We'll try to get the inset shelf in, and that's how we're going to go up just below 1 full tile width, measure, cut out the board. We'll see how that goes, and hopefully by the end of this weekend we'll have it all done, so I'll try to take some pictures as we go along. So here's what it looks like at the point we're at. One of our walls is pretty much done except the cutout for the shelf. We're going to do this next, and I just finished cutting out all the pieces for around the faucet, and that took a while, but now that that's done we can just go right up the wall in all directions. Well, it's the second day of really putting up the tile, and so far it's gone a lot better today than it was yesterday. I did notice right away I was putting the spacers in, but I always had to, we found out later, I had to check the line, the grout line, to make sure it was lined up. There were some jogs in it, and luckily I think with our tiles it won't be too obvious, but I assumed that because we had the spacers in, everything was fine, but really I should have been checking that line, especially since we're on a diagonal. If we were doing a typical 90-degree corners and tiles, it would have been more obvious, but since we're doing that diagonal grout line, it wasn't that obvious. And just to show you, here's how I've been doing the tiles. I can cut it out like this on the tile saw, and then I'm taking a chisel, I'm scoring along this, and then I'm just holding it up in the air and tapping it here with a hammer, and that piece breaks off pretty well so far. So okay, I have it scored, and I'll try to show you how I've been knocking the piece out. I have it scored on the front and the back, and that's it. Comes right out. Well, here's what it looks like so far. Normally we're putting the tile adhesive right on the back of the tile, but we get to a certain point when we're doing the thin glass accent tiles here. We put it right on the wall and we're going to stick to it. It's still a problem checking to make sure these lines are straight. We'll get one direction and then another direction it'll be zigzag, but after this we'll get it looking just like this side here, where we go up another whole tile and then the top. These are the easy sides because they're an entire half piece, an entire half piece. The middle, we did the mirror image down the center, so we're ending up with these weird tiny pieces and 75% pieces, so there's going to be a lot more cutting for this middle wall, so that's going to take some time. But we worked on it probably 3 hours last night, probably 3 hours today, so here's how far we are. It's probably going to be another 3 or 4 hours to finish that middle section and then attach the shelves here where we have the cutouts. Okay, so here's the point that we're at after last night and the better part of today. We finished up this wall, and then we moved over to here. We got both sides, and these, like I said, were the easy ones because we have an entire half piece and an entire half piece. This middle wall, the mirror image, we're going to have to do a lot more cutting, but we ran out of spacers, so we're done for the day. So tomorrow I'm going to keep going up until we get to the point where we can put in the shelf, go up to where we can put the accent tile, and as I'm going, I guess I'm going to cut all the tight little corner pieces, so that's going to take at least a day by myself, if not longer, but hopefully we'll get it done. And then we can start grouting 3 days after. The video you just watched was just one part from a series of bathroom remodel videos we did. Click next to see the next video in the series, or you could check out my bathroom remodel playlist to see all the videos we did while remodeling the 3 bathrooms in our house. And if you found this video helpful, feel free to like the video and subscribe. Thanks.